can choose either way. You can choose, it's just a job. I'm just doing this for $3 an hour and be miserable. Or look at it as wonder. Look at me. I'm making pizza for people. I'm making them happy. I'm bringing pleasure to them. It's all in your perspective how you look at it.
Welcome back to the Fish and Coach Show. My name is Brandon Fisher. This is Coach Ratner. Today we're talking about how to live your wow.
Wow.
That's wonder, opportunity, and wellness. This is a big concept, completely changed my entire perspective and appreciation for my life. I think it's a huge topic. So let's get into it.
Okay.
So I have a saying, just say wow. Have you ever been deciding where to eat for dinner, Coach? And you're like, I don't know, should we get pizza? And then your family's like, yeah, let's go here. And you're like, I don't know, it's not really the best. And you're like,
every day that's like this.
Every day.
Every day. Like, my kids want this, and my kids want that. My son wants this. And I was like, I can't handle it all.
And everyone's like, well, that's not my favorite. It's not about your favorite. Life isn't just a list of the number 1, 2, and 3 hierarchy of the best things. It's also good.
Well, you're saying that number 1, 2, 3, we shouldn't always be looking at life at that hierarchy. Like sometimes 8, 9, and 10 are good also.
Yeah. How was your meal? Well, it wasn't the best. Okay. Did you like the meal or not? Right?
People like to find fault in everything.
Just say, wow. You know what you're looking at? You've been on vacation and you go to a place and like, I've had better pizza, at home.
I like when you fly, you're flying on an airplane, and people always joke about the food. They always make fun of how bad the food.
Right.
If they even give food anymore on the airline, but if you fly international, you still get hot food,
right? Sure.
And people make fun about the food. I'm just still blown away that I could be sitting in a chair flying 550 miles per hour at 42,000 feet, and someone brings me a plate of food that's hot and a drink. And listen, is the food great when I eat it at home? Probably not, but you know what? I'm just blown away that I'm sitting in this tube, this aluminum tube, flying almost at the speed of sound, and someone's bringing me hot food.
And nowadays,
that blows me away.
You've got cable TV in front of you.
Yeah, and I think it's the coolest thing. I still
right.
it's funny. When I flew overseas recently, I was with my daughters. I ate my eggs. They didn't want the eggs. It was great. I got eating eggs at 40,000 feet. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Yeah. Just say wow. I'm going to throw in. Can I tell you an airline secret from the hospitality industry? You might not know. If you want to increase your wow on an airplane, always tip the stewardess. You walk on.
Never thought about that.
They are the only position in the hospitality industry, guest-facing industry, they're not allowed to accept dollar tips. Okay.
Oh.
So instead of giving them a $1 tip, you give them a chocolate bar. I heard this from a travel agent a couple years ago.
That's a great idea.
Right? You give them chocolate bars and you say, this is for you guys. I fly a lot. I really appreciate how hard you work. Make sure you share with the pilot as well. For the rest of the airline, no matter where you're sitting, you are first class. You are their favorite person on the airplane.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
It's fun. Same thing. You probably know this in the hospitality industry, that when you go to a hotel, if you're there for a few nights, especially the first night, leave a tip for the maids.
Oh, they so appreciate it.
Because how often do you leave a tip for the maid? Half the time you forget, and sometimes people just leave change, and they don't make a lot of money. If you left $20
so hard
for a maid, say put an envelope find the maid's name or hand it to the maid if you can happen to see it. This is for you. Thank you for cleaning my room this week. You're gonna have the cleanest sheets in the hotel.
That's true.
Yeah.
$5 a day is a really nice rule of thumb. But even better, Coach, tip the front desk guy. Everyone tips the bellman, and they bring your bags to the room. Maybe they park your car. You want to be treated like a VIP in a hotel? This was me. We're not paid that well either. We're paid a little bit better than the bellman, or not, and they're getting a ton of tips. I was a bellman also. It's great. But when you're in the front desk, you're just overlooked, and you're the guy who they tell all the problems to, and it's your fault. It's totally not your fault. Show that you appreciate them. VIP.
People do that. I have a friend that does that at restaurants. He always tips he goes, of course, if you have a maitre d', it's a fancy restaurant. Sure. He always gives $20 to the guy, the maitre d', and then he always gets great service.
So these are tips to enhance the wow. But let's get into what the wow is. So I lived in Colorado, and I realized that there's this perspective that everyone has in Colorado. It's the best. It really is a great state. But everyone else says oh, New York is too busy. Florida's too humid. California is too uptight, and maybe a little bit hippie. Colorado is perfect.
People, I know when I used to go to New York a lot for business,
Right.
I come home, people like, you're so New York. Because I'd be like talking fast, driving fast. Everything's so much faster in New York, which it is faster.
It is
But
faster.
it is faster. But in Colorado, they call it, you know what they call it in Colorado? God's country.
Yeah.
Like, there's not God anywhere else.
They
Like,
do
it's
say
funny.
that,
It's
yes.
like everyone thinks there's the best. That we have the best beach. And by the way, if you're in the internet ever, which I'm sure everyone is, you always see the top 10 list. People like the best beaches in the world. Or that, I think they just came out with the most expensive city in the world. Tel Aviv just came out as the most expensive
No
city.
way.
Most
Wow.
expensive city. I always wondered, how are they ranking this? Is it based on real estate prices? Is it based on food? And you always have to wonder where a lot of these things come from, because
Right.
in the detail of these top 10 lists are things they might not matter to you. For example, your favorite beach might be one that's the most private and not the one that has the most hotel rooms or that has the cleanest water or that has the softest sand. For you, it might be something different than this top 10 list.
Hey, for sure.
So you have to find wonder in what affects you, not what everything is telling you should be the top 10.
Exactly. And that's the first W, wonder. Appreciating what you see and thinking about it and appreciating it for what it is and for its unique attributes.
When I used to make pizzas in college, I went to a small school called Mary Washington College in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and we had a pizza shop called It's a Pizza. It's a Pizza.
It's a
Funny.
pizza. Nice.
And it was a job. I mean, I got paid like $3 an hour or whatever, but I loved the job because I liked making people happy. People come to me, can I have a black olive pizza? I'm like, I'll make your pizza. I'm like, yeah, and I'd flip the pizza in the air, and I have fun. I put the toppings, and I found pleasure in what most people call a menial job.
You found the wonder in it.
I found the wonder, and I really enjoyed it because I was doing something for somebody else. I got the joy in making people happy. Now, some people went to work and were miserable
Sure.
because they didn't see the wow, they didn't see the wonder in what they were doing. To them, it was just a job. Listen, you can choose either way. You can choose it's just a job. I'm just doing this for $3 an hour and be miserable, or
Right.
look at it as wonder. Look at me. I'm making pizza for people. I'm making them happy. I'm bringing pleasure to them. It's all in your perspective how you look at it.
Totally. And that brings us to the O, opportunity. Okay, so now things get hard and these other guys are experiencing whatever they're experiencing in their life, and that's a challenge. But my dad always taught me that your greatest challenge is your greatest opportunity. It's a game. A challenge is a game. It's a means to an end. Meaning things are going wrong and you see like, wow, now I have the opportunity to solve this. And by solving it, I'm going to enhance myself. I'm going to have a better time. Like puzzles, if they were easy, it's not really an opportunity.
No, it's not.
Right? It's like, okay, I'm here.
It's like when you have a 3-year-old and they're doing their first 10-piece puzzle and they do it, you get pleasure out of it, right?
Sure.
You get pleasure out of it. But if your 10-year-old is doing a 10-piece puzzle, do you get the same pleasure out of it?
What's the opportunity? Like, we really
There's like what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You want him to do a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the opportunity of completing that is building this incredible masterpiece that they've worked towards. It's amazing.
It's funny. There's some things when we're young we can't ever imagine doing. I remember, just for example, when you were like 12 years old in summertime.
Right?
Summertime was like years. Like, oh my gosh, I have June, July, and August. It was like a
It
whole
felt
lifetime.
so long.
It felt so long.
Really.
Nowadays, as you get older, and like an old guy like me, like it's like 2 seconds. Like, oh yeah, it's June.
man.
Like I'm like September's coming in like 3 seconds, right? So like everything, your perspective changes, and your perspective of growth or of accomplishment also changes. Like for example, you can't imagine yourself reading or learning a new language, when you're 12. It's hard. Like, I can't learn a new language. It's difficult. But as you get older, you see, like, you know what? Just do a little bit each day, and suddenly things grow in you, and you can
Right.
accomplish so much more in life than you ever thought possible.
Building those opportunities
Building
into your
opportunities.
lifestyle.
You can look at everything. I'm sorry to interrupt. You
Yeah.
can look at everything as an obligation or an opportunity.
That's true too. Totally. Like I have to do this or I get to do this.
Right.
It's a complete mental shift that is like living a blah life or a wow life.
Right.
And the final W, and this is so important and so overlooked on an adventure, in life, whatever you're going through, wellness is absolutely critical. And I am guilty of sometimes not taking enough time to myself. I'm always around people and I love being around people. I love doing things. Wellness means resting when you're tired. It means breathing when you need to catch your breath. It means thinking and catching up on your thoughts. It means meditating. It means giving yourself time to be a human being.
This is why I love when I'm flying. I can get so much more accomplished because I don't have interruptions.
Sure.
When I'm flying, I write classes, I write books because I don't have my kids bother me. I don't have, I don't really watch much of the stuff on, I don't, maybe I'll watch a movie once if I'm flying overseas, but, someone's bringing me food, flying at 40,000 feet.
Right.
And I'm able to focus on what I'm doing. This is why, there are certain religions that have, especially Judaism, has something called, they call it the Sabbath, where they avoid creating things. They avoid going to work, and they don't do things that you do during the week, because it allows you have to, in order to connect to the world, you have to disconnect from the world.
Right.
And then that's your wellness. I always say, why is it sometimes when people take vacations and they come home, they need a vacation from the vacation?
Oh my goodness.
Because they're constantly on vacation. They're constantly planning, I got to do this, I have to go to this restaurant, make this reservation, get this tour, do this. Right. And they get home, they're like, well, that was a nice vacation, but now I need a vacation for the vacation.
Yeah.
Where the best vacations may be when you go to another city in a different country and you rent a Airbnb for a week and you have no plans. Maybe one or two plans, but very little. And you're sitting at and because when you've taken the vacation that you've had all these plans nonstop, the best part of the vacation is you're sitting in a coffee shop, drinking a mochaccino, and watching the people walk by. And because that is a time for your wellness. That's a time for you to relax and think. And if you took vacations like that where you're not planned out throughout the day, you'll have much better vacations. And you won't need a vacation from the vacation.
Right. Coach, you go skiing a lot.
Yes.
It's great. I'm a big skier. We both love Vail. In Vail, what is the best part of a ski vacation?
The best part of the ski vacation is when you come back and finally take your boots off and you get into your thing and you have a cup of hot chocolate.
Oh my goodness! By the fireplace.
By the fire.
Oh,
That is the best feeling in the world. But for me, it's the last run of the day.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what it is?
That's funny because I have something to say about that.
Go ahead.
No, you say it first.
Oh, so the last for me, it's the last run of the day because you're not because every time you have when I mean a run, when you're getting on a slope,
right? Ski run.
You're in the middle, of 1 in the afternoon, like okay, I'm gonna get down to the bottom, then I can go back up again. So you ski and you're fun, and everything. For some reason, that last run of the day, you're like, I am having such a great time. This opportunity that I have is wonderful,
right?
And I can't wait to get back and have some wellness with my hot chocolate. But right now, this is my opportunity, and I'm gonna have wonder out of it. And you just go crazy. You don't go crazy,
totally.
but it's like you just every turn, every snowplow you make, everything you do is so much more enhanced when it's your last run.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what that's right.
Oh, it works like that.
Yeah.
You're like, your legs are starting to hurt, but when it's the last run, you're like. Just enjoy it. You go at a more comfortable pace. I have a good playlist specifically for my last run.
Oh, you do.
Which is great. But here's what we say, and this is a known thing in Vail. There is no such thing as a last run because if you say it's your last run, you're gonna get hurt. Oh, I got hurt on my last run of the day. Everyone gets hurt on the last run of the day because they couldn't do any more runs. So we always say there's no last run.
Are you serious about that?
Yeah.
Oh, people always get hurt on the last run of the day.
No, I mean they get hurt and it was their last run of the day. Of course.
Well, so it's gonna be the last run of the day they get hurt,
but also because it gets a little bit slushy. It's not always the best snow. So we say
it's
not the last run, but it might be the last run.
Okay.
It's just a funny thing that we say, whatever that's worth. But I also think the hot tub. You missed the hot tub. That is such a highlight on a ski vacation.
It's awesome.
The wellness, the recovery, so that you can do it again the next day and have another day of wow.
Yeah, wow. Looking at the wows in life, you'll get so much more pleasure when you look at everything. And it's like, wow, look at this wonder I have. Look at this opportunity I have. Look at this. And after I'm done with this opportunity and I have the wellness to relax and look forward to it again.
Exactly.
That's the greatest thing. It's funny, when you take a vacation, usually you count down the days of vacation, right?
Right.
10 days we're going to Bahamas, 5 days we're going to Hawaii, 3 days we're going to skiing in Vail. Whatever. You always count down the days of vacation. And you always look at vacations as pleasurable. But you forget a lot of times vacations that you have missed flights. We went to Mexico. We got not everyone, but most people. We got norovirus from the hotel.
Oh boy!
And sometimes you have bad food. You have missed connections. My son once lost his luggage going overseas, and you have all these problems when you're on vacation. But when you're on vacation, you're overlooking those problems, and you're looking at the wonder.
And they're the opportunity.
And the opportunity, the fact that you're on vacation.
Those problems are the opportunity. Later on, those are what you're going to laugh at.
But if you had those problems in your everyday life, if you had the problems of having norovirus, if you had the problems of losing luggage or missing your bus or missing your flight, whatever, you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed my flight. But on vacation, it's like,
I don't think everyone has that attitude, but that's the attitude
whatever.
we should really strive for because you're on vacation.
Yeah.
You're away
Life
from
is a
work.
vacation. But when you can disconnect.
Yeah.
When you're able to disconnect.
When you get that balance of the wonder, the opportunity, and the wellness, and you're living the wow.
Yeah, you know, funny, you go to a restaurant and you see a family and they're all on their phones.
Right. Oh,
And
that's
they're
so
not,
sad.
it's very sad. I mean, thank God we have a rule in our house. You cannot eat and be on screen time. I just can't stand it when, like, you see kids eating a bowl of cereal, like watching TV or watching a video or whatever.
Right.
I can't stand I call it mindless eating, which means you're just throwing food in your mouth like a cow without thinking much about it. And you need to take the wonder in the food, the fact that we have this wonderful cereal and milk and whatever it is you're eating, that no screen time at all when we're eating in our house, because we want to enjoy and taste every morsel of food.
Think about the food and the work that went into making this food, and I mean,
it's all
there's a wow there.
Yeah,
there's a wow. So there you go. How to live your wow. Go out there and experience the wonder. Challenge and conquer those opportunities, and make sure you give yourself time for wellness. Thank you for listening to the Fish and Coach Show.
See you next time. Thanks for watching the Fish and Coach Show.
If you like what you just watched, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment with any ideas you'd like to see on any future episodes.
We'll see you next time.